I had already said before, suppose तिमीहरु चाहिँ कलेज जोइन हुनुभन्दा अगाडि के पोइन्ट्सहरु याद गरेको थियौ? Can any of you say me please? के कुरा बुझ्न आएको थियो कलेजमा? Hello, am I teaching to the class or I am just speaking myself?
Yes sir.
अब कलेज आउँदाखेरि के कुरा बुझ्न आएको थियो ल भन त सबैले एक एउटा पोइन्ट. अपार, come on start. कलेजमा आएर के कुरा बुझ्यौ भर्ना हुनुभन्दा अगाडि?
त्यो सर फी स्ट्रक्चर अनि सेमेस्टर कसरी छ
अरु प्रवेश मल्ल
सर अफिलिएसन्सहरु अब रिकग्नाइज्ड छ कि छैन?
यस.
नेपालको कन्डिसनमा अब के छ कस्तो छ?
यस.
यस्तै चीजहरु सर.
ओके, थ्यांक यू विप्लव. हैन प्रवेश मल्ल Januka Kodel, what you get study before you join the college?
So, म चाहिँ त्यो फी स्ट्रक्चरहरु हेरेको थियो, कोर्स स्ट्रक्चर अनि एफिलिएटेड अब युके एफिलिएटेड थियो त्यस्तै हेरेको थियो सर.
ओके, त्यस्तै भन्दा नि के गरेको थियो याद गर न हैन. त्यस्तै भन्दा एन्सर होइन नि त. ओके, नेक्स्ट श्याम बाबु.
यस सर.
के बुझे थियो?
How the teacher study.
Your sound is not reachable to me.
Or net problem, sir. Hello.
Yes, I'm getting you now.
How the qualified teacher are there? How study is going? In which process the study is going? What are the systems management?
Yes, exactly. के बुझेको थियो भने I think you had inquired what is the scope of this study?
Yes, sir.
What is the eligibility to study in this course? And what is the affiliation of this? How can I be secure to my future by studying at this college? अर्को कुरा भनेको घरमा गएर if के रे you could have just asked about the fee structure. अनि अर्को feasibility study के गर्न सक्छ भने प्यारेन्ट्सहरुले गएर the fee was like this. Could you afford for this? Is it feasible for us to study in this college? हैन. अब तिम्रो लोकेसन, तिमी बसेको लोकेसनबाट कलेज आउन फिजिबल छ कि छैन? I think यो सबै बुझेर मात्र तिमीहरुले चाहिँ कलेज जोइन गर्यो होला हैन. If you find out that most of the conditions were feasible, then you had joined the college because सबै conditions are feasible नहुन पनि सक्छ. But the main conditions such as fee structure, such as your target of the future and the college that leads you for the future are met. त्यही भएर चाहिँ तिमीहरुले चाहिँ कलेज जोइन गर्यो हैन. Similarly, there is also the part where feasibility study is done during the software development also. For example, त्यो सफ्टवेयर भोलि गएर इम्प्लिमेन्टेसन हुने हो कि होइन? What is the cost of their budget and can the client afford for that budget? do our technology available in the market is able to fulfill the target of that what we call project. यो सबै चाहिँ हामीले feasibility study मा गर्नुपर्छ. And after if that is verified, then only we come to the design phase of our project. Right. Now let's go on to next is requirement gathering. Right. And now for during the feasibility study, one of the main process is the requirement gathering. It is a fundamental part of software development. They are like user want to do X, how is this achieved? In fact, requires gathering is the process of generating a list of requirement or function from the stakeholder, that is the customer, user, vendor, ID staff, that will be used as the basis for the formal definition of what project is. Okay. Because the requirement define the project, poorly written requirements can cause problem during the development, and more seriously cause the project to fail its goal have been misunderstood. As the adage goes, fail to prepare and you prepare to fail भनेजस्तो. If your requirement are मलाई यस्तो चाहिएको भनेर चाहिँ तिमीहरुको चाहिँ कस्टमरले भन्छ, कस्टमरको डिपार्टमेन्टको इच एन्ड एभ्री वानले भन्छ, तर you understood just oppositely, then there is a high chances of project to fail है. तर तिमीहरुले चाहिँ त्यही भएर चाहिँ हरेक युजर, हरेक स्टाफ, आईटी स्टाफ देखि लिएर स्टेक होल्डर भनेको चाहिँ कस्टमर्स, द युजर हु युज द सफ्टवेयर, भेन्डर्स भनेको पनि त्यही हो. अनि आईटी स्टाफ अफ दैट कम्पनीले चाहिँ के रिक्वायरमेन्टहरु छ त्यसलाई चाहिँ ग्यादर गर्ने कामलाई चाहिँ रिक्वायरमेन्ट ग्यादरिङ भनिन्छ. सपोज अस्ति तिमीहरुले एउटा काम गर्यो, के गर्यो भने कोहीले ब्युटी पार्लरको गर्यो, कोहीले चाहिँ हार्डवेयरको गर्यो. त्यो गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ त्यसमा के हुनु पर्दो रहेछ भनेर तिमीहरुले चाहिँ इन्फर्मेसन ग्यादर गरेर प्रेजेन्ट गर्यो नि त हैन. That is called the requirement gathering. Our requirement gathering there are different methods. Right? We'll be discussing about them now. First, let's go on to the importance of gathering. Business customer tends to expect software teams to deliver a solution based on unspoken, incomplete, or unknown requirement, while software teams tends to assume that the business customer will communicate exactly what they want as a succinctly as possible. For the success of the project, software teams will assume the business customer will communicate exactly. है उनीहरुले चाहिँ जे भन्छ हामी त्यही डेभलप गर्ने हो भनेर चाहिँ मेन्टली बनाएको हुन्छ. Therefore, requirement need to be formally captured in one document. That can be used as a referential during the software development. In case where potential vendors are still being shortlisted, an essential starting point is to at least gather all the key requirements to allow the ballpark course. सबभन्दा पहिला चाहिँ हामी चाहिँ सर्फेसली what are the modules to be built भनेर चाहिँ हामीले चाहिँ सुरुमा चाहिँ एनालाइसिस गर्छौं तिनीहरुबाट. जस्तै सबभन्दा चाहिँ टप लेभलको म्यानेजमेन्टहरुसित बुझेर के गर्छौं त, we need a customer handling part, we need a stock handling part, we need a account handling part, we need a customer relation communication part भनेर चाहिँ different type of shortlisting चाहिँ हामी गर्ने गर्छौं. After good gathering, process and management of requirement is important as it sets clear target to everyone to aim for it. It's clear and it can be a lot of hard work, but it need not to be a daunting task if you can keep some key points in mind. है यसलाई चाहिँ इरिटेटिभ टास्क चाहिँ हुनु पर्दैन भनेको छ के। अब की पोइन्ट्सहरु चाहिँ हामीलाई याद छ भने the next there are the different techniques for gathering a information gathering. Right? Now you will be doing this as your project in the project लाई चाहिँ further clarify गर्नको लागि चाहिँ तिमीहरुले यो पार्टमा जान्छौ। The first one is the one-to-one interview or meeting. One-to-one interview गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ interview and meetings are widely used to requirement gathering. One-to-one interviews require some planning and preparation before interview and documentation of finding the afterwards. Asking different types of question, example, open-ended, follow-on, or probing can help to elucidate user, stakeholder, system requirement. Help to find. But के word लेखेको छु I just confused. And as a whole के हो भने इन्टरभ्यूहरु लिएर चाहिँ हामी गर्न सकिन्छ। There are open and close interview भन्नको मतलब के भने कोही कोही चाहिँ तिमीहरु चाहिँ क्वेशनयर आफै तयारी गरेर जान्छौ अनि सोध्छौ and कोही कोही चाहिँ on the spot क्वेशन्सहरु पनि सोध्छौ भने that is the closed interview. Advantage can obtain the good information with user. Stakes are not feeling inhibited about what they need or they lack of knowledge in certain areas. Some users are more likely to speak in one-to-one meeting than in large. One-to-one गर्यो भने चाहिँ मिटिङमा चाहिँ it's very easy to find the concrete findings. Disadvantage can be shown to obtain requirement both individually and if having to interview a number of user or stack. It can be slow. एक जनालाई चाहिँ individual interview लिँदाखेरि चाहिँ it can be slow and the for in gathering all the methods. Another thing is that एउटा युजरले भनेको कुरा चाहिँ एक्ज्याक्टली नआउन नि सक्छ। मिटिङमा बस्यो भने चाहिँ एउटा युजरले भनेको कुरा अर्कोले करेक्ट गर्न सक्छ भने इफ इन द मिटिङ उले भनेको कुरा रङ तरिकाले बुझ्यो भने चाहिँ इट्स going to be a wrong requirement. Second is the group interviews. More users stakeholders are present but otherwise similar to one above. जस्तै account system को चाहिँ यस्तो खालको सिस्टम चाहिन्छ भने चाहिँ त्यसको मात्रै ग्रुप बसेर चाहिँ त्यसको रिक्वायरमेन्टहरु चाहिँ डिफाइन गर्न सकिन्छ। Group interview can be more productive if interview are at similar level or from the same section with a department. हो डिफरेन्ट लेभलमा भयो भने डिफरेन्ट पोर्टफोलियोले गर्दा चाहिँ एक अर्काले कुरा निकाल्न नसक्ने हुन सक्छ। सो देयरफोर सकेसम्म एउटै पोस्टको एउटै लेभलको हुन सक्छ। जस्तै टिचर र स्टुडेन्ट भयो भने तिमीहरु त्यति धेरै इन्टरेक्ट गर्न सक्दैनौ नि, बट इफ यु अल आर स्टुडेन्ट देन यु क्यान ह्याभ अ न्यू आइडिया अन इट। तिमीहरु चाहिँ ओपनली बोलिरा हुन्छौ है। त्यही भएर चाहिँ इट्स इम्पोर्टेन्ट टु ह्याभ सेम सेक्सन विदिन अ डिपार्टमेन्ट। Then workshop can comprise 6 to 10 or users or stakeholders working together to identify the requirement. Workshop tend to be of defined duration rather than outcome and may be needed to briefly repeat in order to clarify the obtain the further details. फर्दर डिटेल्सहरु सबै गर्नको लागि चाहिँ एउटा वर्कशप पनि गर्न सकिन्छ। यस्तो हो हाम्रो सिस्टम, हामीले यस्तो गर्नुपर्छ भनेर चाहिँ डिफाइन पनि हुन सक्दछ। The another thing is the observation. Field मा गएर observation गर्ने है. And there are two type of observation. एउटा चाहिँ direct observation, एउटा चाहिँ indirect. एउटा चाहिँ तिमीहरु चाहिँ गएर कसरी काम गर्दै रहेछन् भनेर बाहिरबाट हेर्छौ, त्यहाँको एम्प्लोइलाई चाहिँ क्वेशन्स सोध्दैनौ. But in indirect you will be asking with the staff, यो काम कसरी भइरहेको छ भनेर चाहिँ staffing गर्नलाई चाहिँ it is very useful. Advantages: useful if the user is not able to clearly explain what they do or not. Requirement for the new system: can see idea for improving the process or removing the unnecessary activity from the new system. है कुनै सिस्टममा एक्जिस्टिङ सिस्टममा चाहिँ अनवान्टेड छ भने नयाँ सिस्टममा चाहिँ नराख्ने भनेर पनि गर्न सकिन्छ. Disadvantage: relatively slow, focus on the existing process rather than the new process. The third thing is the investigation means just like the visit, we can collect the by investigation the market and trending scenario which customer is demanding. Third is the questionnaire. It's just like an interview. क्वेशनरहरु चाहिँ तिमीहरुले चाहिँ हरेक स्टाफहरुलाई चाहिँ दिन्छौ अनि उनीहरुले चाहिँ त्यसलाई चाहिँ भरेर तिमीहरुलाई दिन्छ भने दैट इज द क्वेशनर मेथड. और अहिले चाहिँ गुगल फर्महरु तिमीहरुले युज गर्छौ, गुगल फर्ममा चाहिँ डाटा कलेक्सन गरेर त्यसलाई चाहिँ एनालाइसिस गर्छौ भने पनि दैट इज द क्वेशनर. Current system documentation: you may have documentation about your current system which could provide some of the input for the new system. अब अहिले चाहिँ पेपर वर्क कसरी भइराको छ, how existing system is working, how new system is के रे new software is old software is working, डकुमेन्टमा बिलिङहरु कसरी गरिराको छ म्यानुअल सिस्टममा, यो सबै हेरेर पनि you can get a idea for the new scenario. Okay, so requirement gathering को बारेमा चाहिँ कुनै पोइन्टमा चाहिँ if you have confusion then let me know. Any questions please? छैन है, सबैले बुझिरहेछ? समीर केसी?
Yes sir.
ठीक छ? Any
हजुर
questions?
ठीक छैन sir.
Okay. Okay, now let's actually go on to the feasibility studies definition. Feasibility study is a study usually done by the engineers or the team of the software development that establish whether the conditions are right to implement a particular project or not. Information such as resource availability, cost estimation for the software development, benefit of the software to the organization after its development, and cost to be incurred on its maintenance are considered during the feasibility study. The objective of feasibility study is to establish the reason for developing the software that is acceptable to user, adaptable to change, and comfortable to the establishment. Okay, information such as resource availability. त्यो भनेको के भने, if do our resource and do the resource of the vendor where the software is to be implemented support our project. Second thing is, do the vendor can invest the amount of the software development, or can we do the project in the amount the vendor is supposed to provide for us. Benefit of the software to the organization: what is the efficiency of the organization after its implement, and how it would reduce the cost of the office operation in future is also must also defined by feasibility study. The objective of feasibility study is to establish a reason for developing the software that is acceptable. First, that is acceptable हुनु पर्यो. Second, that is adaptable to the change. Change सित अब कुनै सिस्टमहरु नयाँ बनिरहेको छ भने त्यसलाई पनि चेन्ज गर्नु पर्यो. And third is conformable to established standard. It must get the standard. अब चाहिँ यो हामी अनलाइनमा गयौं भनेपछि चाहिँ अर्गनाइजेसनको एउटा स्ट्यान्डर्ड हाई हुन्छ नि त हैन. Now the payments are done through the IPS e-सेवा भन्ने बित्तिकै we are going to the technology भन्ने एउटा अर्गनाइजेसनको भए जसरी that अर्गनाइजेसनको पनि केही न केही इस्टाब्लिशमेन्ट चाहिँ हुनु पर्दछ. And various other objectives of feasibility study are listed below. The first one is to analyze whether the software can be whether the software will meet organizational requirement, as we have already discussed in the above paragraph. To determine whether the software can be implemented using the current technology or within the specific budget and schedule, and to determine whether the software can be integrated with existing software. Existing software सित integrate गर्न मिल्छ कि मिल्दैन, or अरु सफ्टवेयरहरुसित पनि यसले कम्युनिकेसन गर्न सक्छ कि सक्दैन भनेर पनि फिजिबिलिटी स्टडीहरु चाहिँ गर्न सकिन्छ. And there are generally 3 types of feasibility study. The first one is technical feasibility, second one is economic feasibility, third one is the operational feasibility. Okay, then all of you are requested to read about these 3 feasibility अनि तिनीहरु के रहेछ भनेर चाहिँ मलाई चाहिँ सर्फेसली के बुझिन्छ, you will be explaining to me. तिमीहरु एकछिन 5-10 minutes read about this feasibility है. Technical, economic र operational भनेको के रहेछ, read surfacely and I will be just asking you and afterward I will be explaining about this. Okay. Do any of you can say that what is operational feasibility? भनेको के रहेछ ल भन्नु त? What is operational feasibility? Okay, it's the feasibility access, the extent to which requirement software performs a series of steps to solve business problems and requirements. The feasibility is dependent on human resources and involves the visualizing whether the software will operate after it's developed and be operative once it's installed. Operational feasibility also performs the following tasks: determines whether the problem anticipated in user requirement are of higher priority, determines whether the solution suggested by software development team is acceptable, analyze whether user will adapt to the new software or not, determines whether the organization is satisfied by the alternative solution proposed by the software development or not. These are the operational feasibility. यो सबै भनेको चाहिँ यो सफ्टवेयर चलाउनको लागि चाहिँ are this condition met or not भनेर मात्र एनालाइसिस गरिन्छ है. रिक्वायरमेन्ट हार्डवेयर रिसोर्सेस सबैहरू चाहिँ यसमै आउने गर्दछ. And economic is related to economics, and technical feasibility is regarding the technology, it can be existence or not. Therefore, यो बारेमा चाहिँ म तिमीहरूलाई चाहिँ स्लाइड अपलोड गरिदिन्छु. No one are taking the interactive participation in class, so तिमीहरूलाई यो स्लाइड चाहिँ म तिमीहरूलाई चाहिँ फरवर्ड गरिदिन्छु and you will be doing the presentation of it. Okay. And I'm just leaving the class right now because it's theoretical part and you are going to read about this. तिमीहरूले पढेर एक्सप्लेन गर्छौ अनि सोधेपछि बल्ल म क्वेशन्स गर्नु. Otherwise no one of you are just speaking. Okay. Then today I'm just sharing the slides to you and wrapping up the classes of today's. Okay, goodbye. Bye bye.